In April 2014, Bola Ahmed Tinubu posted something on Twitter, X. He was in the opposition at the time. Jonathan was the president. Boko Haram was at its peak. And Tinubu typed these exact words. On the matter of security, the buck stops at the president's table, like in other countries. Jonathan is the chief security officer. He was right. Security does stop at the president's table. The problem is that table now belongs to Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And the 3 years since Tinubu became president, 9 school abduction incidents, 551 students kidnapped, a teacher beheaded on camera, principal begging for her life from a forest, kidnappers demanding 1 billion, 2 Hilux vehicle, and the release of bandits from prison, and the amendment of state laws as if they are a parallel government. And while all of this is happening, the first lady, so-called mother of the nation, is gifting cars to wives of the APC candidates. INEC is busy blocking new voters from registering and changing their polling units. And our leaders are busy politicking. Today, we are not just reporting the news. We are holding a mirror to Nigeria. And what we see in that mirror is something every Nigerian needs to see and confront. Stay with me. So hi guys, welcome back to this channel. Nigerian politics, current affairs, straight and simple, honest every single day. Subscribe right now, turn on the post notification so you don't miss any video when we drop. And today is the everyone. Let's go. Section 1. Tinubu's own word has condemned him. Let's start with something that requires no analysis, just reading. These are tweets from Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Bola Ahmed Tinubu's verified account between 2014 and 2015. He was in the opposition at the time when Jonathan was president, and Nigeria was dealing with Boko Haram. April 14th, 2014. Tinubu wrote, on the matter of security, the buck stops at the president's table, like in other countries. Jonathan is the chief security officer. Stop Boko H, which is Boko Haram. May 19, 2014, after the Kano bombing, he wrote, the Kano attack is a sad reminder that we live in an unsafe country. It is a wake-up call for Jonathan's government. We must confront terrorism. Now, August 13, 2014, he still wrote again, a military and police force assembled and paid by the Jonathan government and PDP cannot serve the nation's interest but their paychecks. Okay. March 17, 2014, he wrote again about the job seekers killed in the stampede of NHIS recruitment. The sheer number of unemployed youths who turned out for jobs at NIS, and the tragic death is an albatross on the neck of Jonathan's government. Now, I want to ask a simple question. If Tinubu was right in 2014, if security stops at the president table, then what does the table look like today? Because Premium Times just published a scorecard. Jonathan had one school abduction incident in his watch. 276 students. The world erupted. Buhari had 10 incidents, 1,127 students kidnapped. Tinubu had 9 incidents, 551 students kidnapped in just 3 years. The man who said security stop at the president's table now sits at that table, and 551 students, children, have been kidnapped and taken from schools under his watch. These are only the ones that made the news. These are only the ones that made the news. The real numbers are actually higher if we check. So Tinubu was right in 2014. Scrutiny does stop at the president's table, and right now the table is not delivering. Section number 2. The kidnappers demand that should alarm every Nigerian. Now let me show you something that tells you how emboldened these criminals have become. The kidnappers who currently are holding teachers and students from Oyo State have released their demands, and I want you to listen to this demand carefully, because they are not just demand from desperate people. They are demands of people who believe they are operating a parallel government. Demand number 1, 1 billion naira to be paid into an account in Benin Republic, not a Nigerian account, a foreign account. They are already thinking internationally. These are all allegedly. So demand number 2, the release of other bandits currently held in Agodi and Abolongo prisons in Oyo State. They want their colleagues freed. They are negotiating a prisoner exchange like a military force. Demand number 3, 2 Hilux vehicle so they can continue their operation with better equipment. Demand number 4, and this is the one that should truly disturb every Nigerian, the amendment of certain Oyo State laws to suit their interest. Let that land They are asking for laws to be changed in their favor by the government of a state they are terrorizing. These are not demands of criminals who are afraid of the government. These are demands of people who have concluded that the government is afraid of them. And that conclusion is actually based on the government response to multiple kidnapping incidents over multiple years. And it's not entirely wrong. Yeah? Because when you do not pay a consequence for what you do it again. This time you do it bigger, with more confidence, and with more demand. Now, that is exactly what we are seeing in Oyo State right now. Section number 3. Remi Tinubu's cars while children rot in the forest. Now, I want to talk about this one because it made me genuinely angry this week. Very angry. I went on live and spoke about it multiple times. And I believe it will make you angry too. While a principal from Oyo State is in the forest begging for her life, on camera, while her family cannot sleep waiting for news of their kidnapped children and teachers. While Nigeria is mourning Michael Oyedokun, the teacher who was beheaded, the first lady is busy politicking. Remi Tinubu was at a ceremony. She gifted 5 cars to wife of APC gubernatorial candidates in states where they don't have APC governors at the moment. They are gubernatorial candidates. She gifted them 5 cars. While children are in captivity, the so-called mother of the nation. Now, I want to be fair. The first lady has right to support her husband's political party. It's not illegal, right? Governors' wives and first ladies have participated in political activities for long in Nigeria. But the timing, the optics, the insensitivity of holding a car gift ceremony for political allies while Nigerian families are in active grieve, while a school principal was begging on camera, while teachers' headless body have just been found. This is not just poor political judgment. This is a government that becomes so detached from the ordinary Nigerian pain that it cannot even read the room. In our words, that they are politicians and the politics should show on them. And here is what makes it even more painful. Remi Tinubu is actually an ordained minister of God. She serves in RCCG. She knows the scripture about the poor, the oppressed, and the captive. She knows what the Bible says about those in chains. So, and on the day when Nigerians were literally in chains, in a forest in Oyo State, she was busy handing over car keys to politician wives. And even money. She said that also in her video. Nigerians deserve better than this. We deserve better. Section number 4. INEC and the voters registration scandal. Now, let me talk about something that's happening quietly and that is going to affect every Nigerian if you want change in 2027. INEC, the Independent National Electoral Commission, is the body responsible for managing voters registration and polling unit assignments. And right now, Nigerians across the country are reporting that INEC is frustrating attempts to register new voters or transfer existing registration to a new polling unit. Now, here is why this matters so much. Think about someone who is trying to register right now, who is going to INEC office to get their PVC or update their polling unit. Mostly, these are young Nigerians who did not vote before. Mostly are Nigerians who are energized by obedient movement 2023 and felt cheated. Mostly are Nigerians who have watched these 3 years of Tinubu's administration and have decided, this time I must vote. These are the Nigerians who have been frustrated at INEC offices. These are Nigerians whose transfer have been delayed, whose biometric are failing on a system, whose application is sitting in queues that never move. 2 persons per hour. Political analysts are saying clearly that if Nigerians cannot register, Tinubu gets an easier path to 2027 victory, because the people who are satisfied with the status quo already have their PVC. The people who want change are the ones who are trying to get theirs right now. And there's something else that connects to this. I saw that online. Pastor Abayomi, a well-known Nigerian cleric in Salvation Ministry, was recently publicly saying he will not vote in 2027. And his reason is that ballot box was stolen the day he went to vote. So there's no point since ballot box has been stolen. When respected religious figures start telling Nigerians not to bother voting indirectly, and when INEC is making registration difficult for new voters, what you have is a systemic reduction of electorate, and that is not random. It benefits whoever the existing registered voters will favor. INEC is supposed to be independent. The I in INEC stands for what? Independent. And if that independence is being compromised to frustrate voters registration, that is not just an administrative failure, that is an attack to Nigeria's democracy. Section number 5, the solution Nigeria is not considering. Now, let me say something that I believe is true and that I want every Nigerian watching this to think about. Nigeria has the resources to significantly reduce this banditry. The question is not whether the resources exist. The question is whether the political will exists to use them. Our federal government spends billions monthly on salaries for presidency, for ministers, for special advisors, for aides, for all the lawyers of people who surrounds the power in Nigeria. Some of these positions are genuinely necessary. Many of them are just political rewards. Now, what if just 1 month those salaries are paused and the money was used to purchase military drones capable of surveillance and precision strikes, modern drones, the kind that can track kidnappers through forest cover, the kind that Nigerian military does not currently have? They don't have enough of that. What if the money was used to buy enough ammunition, communication equipment, and protective gear to properly equip every soldier and police officer in the field, many of whom are currently fighting with outdated equipment against criminals who are using proceeds for random payments of previous kidnapping to buy weapons? I'm not a military strategist too. I do not have all the answers, but I know this: the countries that have significantly reduced terrorism and banditry have done it by combining intelligence, technology, and political will, not by issuing condemnation statements on Twitter, online, not by setting deadlines that are not enforced, but by actually spending money on the problem instead of the comfort of the people who are supposed to be solving it. The country is burning. Our leaders are politicking. Cars are being given to politician wives. The children are still in the forest. This is the Nigeria of June 2026. And this should not be accepted by any of us. Now, let me bring everything together. In 2014, Tinubu told us that security, the bulk of it, stopped at the president's table. He was right. We are in 2026 now. That table belongs to you, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. 9 school abduction incidents since you have been at that table. 551 students kidnapped and counting. A teacher beheaded. A principal begging on camera. The kidnappers in Oyo are now so confident that they are demanding for 1 billion vehicle upgrades, prisoner release, and changes to state of laws. They are operating like a government within a government. Jesus. Because they have learned through the years that this administration, whatever they do, there's no real consequence for it. Where the first lady is busy giving cars to politician wives. INEC is frustrating voters. The voters who are actually planning to vote against the status quo. And we have a pastor, a cleric man, who is indirectly telling people not to vote because he voted and his ballot box was stolen. And the same man who spent years on Twitter holding Jonathan accountable for security failures has not been held to the same standard himself. The same standard is set. Now, I want to say something carefully. I'm not saying Tinubu is worse than Goodluck Ebele Jonathan on security, yeah? The Premium Times data is the one that's showing it. Buhari, who ran as a security candidate, had 10 incidents with 1,127 kidnapped students. The problem is bigger than just one president. But Tinubu specifically stood in front of Nigeria and told us that security stops at the president's table. And he also campaigned with it. He said they are going to recruit 50 million youths that they will take away from their recruitment source. That was his standard, his words on X. That he should be held accountable. So his accountability framework is not working. 551 kidnapped students later, he gets to answer for that standard. Not just Jonathan's standard, not Buhari's standard, his own standard. The standard is set. It's midnight. It's hard for me to sleep. I genuinely weep for this country. Not because Nigeria cannot be better, but because every day that passes, children are in the forest. Meanwhile, our leaders are doling out car gifts in ceremonies. And all of this, the leaders politicking and everything happening, is making me believe maybe this country cannot be better. But we will not stop talking about it because silence is what they are actually counting on. And this channel, I made up my mind, we will not be silent. Anyways, guys, I want your honest thoughts in the comment section. 2 questions. 1, do you think stopping government salary for 1 month to fund drones and military equipment would make a difference to Nigerian security problem? 2, by Tinubu's own 2014 standard, the one he used to judge Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, how do you grade his own performance of security today? Share this video. Every Nigerians need to see these 3 things together: the tweets, the scorecard, and the demands. Share it. Share it with someone who needs to decide, whichever the case may be, about 2027. The children in Oyo State are still in the forests. We will not stop covering this story until they are back home with their parents. Subscribe to this page, turn on the notification bell. New video drops every day. I'll see you on the next one. God bless Nigeria. God bless you. And God bless every family waiting. It is well.